Station, this is Houston. Are you ready for the event?
Houston Station, ready for the event.
Houston ACR, this is Mission Control Houston. Please call station for a voice check.
Station, this is Houston ACR. How do you hear me?
Houston ACR, I have you loud and clear.
Please stand by for opening remarks.
Hi, I'm Shari Cami, the very proud superintendent of the Baldwin Public Schools. We are located in New York, on Long Island, about 10 miles from Manhattan. We are so proud of our accomplishments and the programs that we offer our young people, particularly in the area of STEM, STEAM, and engineering. These programs allow our children to dream as big as humanly possible. In fact, today we have the opportunity to ask questions to a former graduate, Lieutenant Colonel Jasmin Moghbeli. Here's our first question.
Hi, my name is Logan. My question is, what is your favorite view from space?
Hi, Logan. Hi, everyone in Baldwin. First off, I'm so excited to be talking to you all today. Logan, my favorite view from space is hands down the view back home to you all of our beautiful planet Earth. I can't tell you how pretty it is and how it stands out from everything else and the darkness of space.
Hi, my name is Preston. My question is, what do you do for fun when you're not working on experiments?
Preston, that's a great question because, as you know, we not only work on the International Space Station, but we also live here, and I'm up here for about 6 months. So for fun, actually, one of the things I love doing most is taking pictures of our home planet and looking out the windows. It's been really hard to capture how beautiful it is, but we have some pretty nice cameras we use up here to take photos and share them with you. And I can't quite capture it, but I do have this drawing from Mia back home in Lenox. Drew me a picture of the Earth before I got up here, so I think she captured it pretty well.
Hi, my name is Irvin, and my question is, do you get to explore the outside of the International Space Station, and what is it like?
Irvin, actually, my first time going outside the International Space Station will be next week. My good friend and fellow crewmate, Laurel O'Hara, and I will be going outside the space station to do some repairs and to bring in a piece of equipment that we need to bring back and repair once it's on station. So I'm really excited to get in my spacesuit and go out for the first time.
Hi, my name is Mia. My question is, what has been the most surprising thing that has happened to you guys in space?
Mia, the probably most surprising thing that happened was when I first got here, after hundreds of hours of training in the mock-ups of the space station back at Johnson Space Center, I got out of my Dragon and came onto the International Space Station, and I didn't know where I was or which way to go. And the reason is, if you look at a module like this, it looks totally different. If you look at it sideways, it looks totally different. And I was used to training on Earth, where we always looked at it in this orientation. So it took me about a week to know which way I was going and which module I was in.
Hi, my name is Johnny. My question is, how do you tell time in space?
Johnny, great question. You may or may not know that every day here on the space station, we go around the Earth about 16 times, which means every 45 minutes we're either seeing a sunrise or sunset. So we can't really use the sun to tell time like you would. So we actually use watches, much like we often do back home, and we set them to Greenwich Mean Time. And when it's nighttime, we try to turn off the lights on the space station or make them dimmer to make us feel like it's dark out. And then when it's daytime, we turn all the lights up bright.
Hi, my name is Lainey. My question is, describe your favorite food to eat in space.
Lainey, I have a few favorites. I like to sometimes make what I call a space hamburger. We have these beef patties, and I put it on wheat bread. It's only a one-sided hamburger, but it's pretty good. And then I also like to eat candy-coated peanuts. And my favorite part is you can play with your food in space. So you can just shoot it out and eat it. It's even fun with two people. You can pass it over to your crewmates.
Hi, my name is Sariel. My question to you is, are there any special tools or features on the spacesuit that you find fascinating?
Yeah, so I would say probably one of the coolest tools, I think, on our spacesuit, and I wish I could show you, but unfortunately it's already on my spacesuit ready for next week, so I can't take it off, but it's called a body restraint tether. And what it is, it's an arm that you can loosen or tighten. So when you tighten it down, it stays stiff in whatever position you put it in, and when you loosen it, it's floppy and moves around. So because it's hard, like in space, if I just push off lightly, I start going. That helps us to stay down into a work site, or we can put things on it and carry them with us on a spacewalk so we can still use our hands to move around.
Hi, my name is Abigail. My question is space depicted differently in the movie than what it is like in real life?
Abigail, it probably depends which movie. So as a kid, one of my favorite movies was Apollo 13. And I would say that depicts reality pretty well, where you have a group of people working together to solve a problem and not accepting failure as an option. Some other space movies probably dramatize things a bit and can be a little unrealistic in some ways. So it really just depends on which movie.
Hi, my name is Steven. My question is, what inspired you to become an astronaut, and how did you pursue this dream through your education and career?
Steven, so I first started dreaming about being an astronaut when I was a student at Lenox Elementary School. I did a book report on cosmonaut Valentina Tereshkova. She was the first woman in space, and I dressed up like her for a day in school and pretended to be her. And so that's where the dream started. And then as I got older, I just looked more into it and wanted to do it more and more. So I ended up studying aerospace engineering, both for my undergrad and my graduate degree, because I was interested in math and science and designing things, and also in space. And that eventually led me here to the International Space Station.
Hi, my name is Malia. My question is, what is the difference between how you felt in training and how you feel in space?
Malia, so the biggest difference is we can't really practice weightlessness back on Earth. We try, and we have a really big pool called the Neutral Buoyancy Lab that we try to make it as close as possible, but at the end of the day, there's still gravity back there. And so things float up here, and the hardest part is if you don't pay attention to something and you just leave it floating, you know, for a second, and you turn away, it might be gone. And so it took a really long time to get used to not being able to just put things down and they stay there. You have to always, we use a lot of tape to keep things down, a lot of Velcro, and then just learning how to control your body in this environment.
Hi, my name is Brianna. My question is, how do you sleep in the space station?
Brianna, so, we're used to sleeping back on Earth where you feel the pressure on your back and you put a blanket on. Some people still feel they need that here on the space station, and everyone's slightly different. But I actually just have it kind of like a sleeping bag that I just tacked up to the wall in my crew quarters, and I get in there and I zip up, and it actually has armholes so you can leave your arms hanging out and they'll just float there. But it does have straps on it for some people that feel they need that pressure on their body to fall asleep.
Hi, my name is Isabella. My question is, what do you feel is the best advice you could give to someone who wants to be an astronaut?
Isabel, that's a really good question. And what I would say is, whatever you choose to do, there's not just the end goal, whether that's becoming an astronaut or something else. There's the journey to get there. And you should never do something just for that end goal. You should do things you're passionate about. And as you do those things, because you're passionate about them, you'll inevitably do well, and that will take you to the next step. And something else I'd like to say is, while you're doing those things, help bring others with you. If everyone's helping a hand to one another, that means we can all get further.
Hi, my name is Celeste. My question is, what research projects are you currently working on the space station?
Celeste, I think we have over 200 experiments going right now. Some of my personal favorites are the ones that actually use us as the subjects. So our human bodies are being researched because, as you know, we've been living and working in space for nearly a quarter of a century now, but we would like to go further onto the moon with our Artemis missions and then onto Mars. And so understanding when we start talking about living and working in space for 3 years, how is our body responding to that? And when we go past low Earth orbit, the radiation's different and things like that. So understanding how our body reacts in space is one of my favorite research subjects.
Hi, my name is Maya. My question is, if an astronaut is deployed in space for a long duration of time, what possible stresses could they face?
Maya, that's a really good question, because as I just mentioned, I'm up here for about 6 months, and we're talking about doing missions that'll eventually be 2-3 years when we go on to Mars. So I would say there are both the physical and mental stresses. In terms of physical stresses, especially up here where you're weightless, you're not using your muscles every day as you would on Earth. So we have to exercise for 2.5 hours every single day to make sure we keep our muscles strong, our bone density up. We've seen vision changes. And then you're away from most of the people you love, your friends, your family are back home. So making sure we find ways to connect to those we love back home is also really important.
Hi, my name is Shamar. My question is, what are some challenges that you face while being on the International Space Station?
Shamara, I don't think I realized exactly how hard space was until I started working at NASA and then got up here. It turns out the vacuum of space is a harsh environment, and it takes a lot to keep all of our systems running correctly. We need to be able to communicate back to Earth. Our life support systems are obviously very near and dear to me and my crewmates to keep us alive and breathing and everything. So I would say it's just that it takes a lot of things going right and a lot of people constantly working every single day. There is a challenge or a problem every single day, if not multiple, and just working through those.
Hi, my name is Faith. My question is, how does the view of Earth from space impact your perspective on environmental conservation and the need for sustainable practices?
Faith, I'd say I think I've always known that our home planet Earth is a very special place and that we need to protect it. But when you see it from up here and you see around it is just darkness with specks of light and how beautiful it is, and that everyone I know and love is back on that planet, it really is a good reminder that we need to take care of it.
Hi, my name is Catherine. My question is, how does the absence of gravity affect your body, movement, and daily activities?
Catherine, you can see I'm kind of, bobbing around here, and normally back on Earth, we're used to pressure on the bottom of our feet all the time. Up here on the space station, we're often using handrails to hook our toes kind of under them so that the top of your feet get used a lot more than the bottom of your feet. You can just float around, which I will say is even better than I could have ever dreamed. But it is also a challenging environment sometimes because, as I mentioned earlier, if you're trying to open a bag that's full of things, on Earth you could just unzip it and you could take stuff out and lay them on a table or on the ground. Up here, if you just open a bag that's full, it will float everywhere and go in every direction. So really, you have to learn to adjust to that and make sure you always have a way to secure things down as you go and very carefully take things out. So it did take me probably a good month to get used to that and get more efficient working in this environment.
Hi, my name is Chris. My question is, how did the intense acceleration and transition to microgravity feel?
Chris, the ride up here was one I will never forget. For me, I launched on a SpaceX Crew Dragon, Crew 7, and so it has two stages. The first stage, when we first lifted off from the pad, was way smoother than I could have imagined. You could feel the G-forces on your body, and it's going this way kind of through your chest, but it was so smooth. Then when that cut out, you suddenly jolt, and you feel the weightlessness for a moment, and then the second stage kicked in, and that was a lot more rumbly, and there were a lot more vibrations. And then once that cuts out, you're in orbit and floating around, and to me, it just felt like I was hanging upside down, actually, with my seatbelt holding me in.
Hi, my name is Grace. My question is, how has traveling to space changed your prior mindset or perspective of our world?
Grace, I would say, as I kind of mentioned earlier, when you see the Earth in the way that we see it up here, one, it is just magnificent and beautiful, but also you see it's kind of like this beacon, and around it is darkness with, as I said, just specks of light that are way off in the distance. And so you really realize how special it is, and again, how we need to protect it.
Hi, my name is Janaya. My question is, can you describe a typical day aboard the International Space Station, including your daily routine and tasks?
Janaya, so we work generally from around 7 to 7:30 in the morning. We have a morning meeting, and then we're working all the way till about 7 or 7:30 p.m. So just like back home, I wake up, brush my teeth, get my face cleaned up, maybe eat some breakfast, and then we're off working. And it's a combination of, the main mission up here is doing science experiments, but just as a function of living and working up here, we have to also maintain the space station and take care of our bodies. So as I said, we work out 2.5 hours every single day, and anytime something breaks, we have to be the ones fixing it. And sometimes we do things in advance to prevent things from breaking. So every day can be slightly different, but we're generally working from those hours.
Hi, my name is Ali Marie. My question is, how do you prepare for possible disruptions in communication between you and Mission Control on Earth?
Ali Marie, that's actually a very fitting question because a few months before I launched, actually, there was a storm that impacted one of our ground sites, and that ended up significantly impacting our communication coverage up here. So the entire time I've been up here, we've had a little less coverage than we're normally used to. And so throughout the span of the day, comms are cutting in and out regularly. And really, we just train for it. We train to be able to handle any situation we need to with that's urgent without help from ground. It's always nice to have the ground there and helping feed information to us because they have all specialists in different fields. But when it comes down to the things that need to be taken and are time critical, we're trained to handle them.
Hi, my name is Josiah. My question is, what technology or tools do you find most crucial for your work and daily life on the space station?
Josiah, it's funny because they're actually basic things I carry around in my pocket with me every single day. A flashlight. Here on the space station, there are things stowed all over the place, and sometimes you have to dig pretty deep into a crevice to find something. So I always have a flashlight, and it's tethered to me. Scissors. Anytime we're cutting something open, which is all of our food, so important to me, I carry scissors all the time. And then I've got a series of markers. Actually, basic things like Velcro and tape become really important when you don't have gravity to pull things down. And so constantly having tape ready and having Velcro ready are also really important. And the last thing I'll say is we have a lot of mesh bags up here because it helps us. If you're trying to unpack a bag, you can move things slowly into a mesh bag to help.
Hi, my name is Chloe. My question is, as a member of NASA Crew 7, how do you navigate and maintain motivation when faced with challenges or delays in obtaining the necessary information for your mission?
Chloe, that's a really good question because, as I mentioned, space is really hard, and we often do have last-minute changes or last-minute problems that arise. And I would say one of the biggest things that's helped me is my crewmates. We all have a really positive attitude, and there might be a day where I start to get down about something, and my crewmate will help me out with a task, or let's say I get behind on something. My good friend Laurel the other day just jumped in and said, "You look like you could use a hand," and she didn't even ask, she just started helping. And so doing that for each other really helps bring our entire mood up, and then hopefully I do that for someone if they're having a challenging day. So really our crewmates are one of the biggest things, and then just knowing that when you do solve a difficult problem, it feels really satisfying afterwards, so keeping that in mind as you're going through the process.
Hi, my name is Aaron Ashby, and I'm in the STEM and Engineering Academy and a senior at Baldwin High School. On behalf of the Baldwin community, I would like to extend my gratitude for answering our questions about your experiences in space and inspiring us to never flee from our dreams, even in the toughest challenges. Thank you for your inspiration.
Thank you, Aaron, and thank you to everyone back home at Baldwin. I miss you all. I can't wait to come back and visit when I'm back home on Earth. Thank you for all the things you gave me to bring up to space with me, and I hope to see you all soon.
Station, this is Houston ACR. That concludes our event.